Hello everyone, my name is Lauren Eiler and here is my Module 1 screencast. A little bit about me. I currently teach second grade at Ephrata School District. I have been there for a year now. Last year I taught at a charter school in New York. I also taught second grade there. Over the next picture here is the Hogwarts Castle. I am a huge Harry Potter fan. I absolutely love the books and I absolutely love the movies. Down here in the corner is a picture of my dog. His name is Albus, after Albus Dumbledore from Harry Potter. Down here is a picture of a kayak because I absolutely love to kayak. I love being on the water and being outside, especially over the summer. Maybe not so much in the winter, in the cold, but definitely over the summer. Here is also a picture of me and my fiance, Luke. He is a big Star Wars fan, and I'm a big Harry Potter fan. So obviously we have to include that in our wedding. We're getting married May 4th of 2020. So up top is a picture of me experimenting with my soon-to-be new last name at a wedding show that I went to, and there is my engagement ring as well. So I thought I would include that because I'm going to be planning my wedding, and that's really exciting as well. Some of my online experiences. I took my first online class at Millersville for my undergrad degree in 2014. After that, I had a couple of online courses in my undergraduate degree at Millersville. This is my second online class for my graduate degree. I currently teach, as I said, at a brick and mortar school in the Ephrata School District, so I have not had experience teaching online, but I do like to include some online activities and technology in my classroom now. So the first question I answered was good teaching. Is good teaching whether online or in the brick and mortar setting? I think that good teaching is all about making a connection with your students and building a relationship with your students and really getting to know them. I definitely believe that good teaching can be online and can be in a brick and mortar setting. It just looks a little different depending on the type of setting. I also think that good teaching can be shown in a brick and mortar classroom and in an online classroom. Again, it's just going to look a little differently. I also do not believe that it is an overgeneralization. I think good teaching is about getting to know your students and really building that relationship, rather than just focusing on the content and making sure you get all that done. It's definitely really important just to take a moment and get to know your students and get to experience learning with them. Some of the online teaching challenges that I was interested in was the first one about the student issues. The article talked about the student issues and about the students who do well in online classrooms and students who do not do anything at all. I definitely noticed this in my own classroom right now as well in the brick and mortar setting, was that I have students that really do well and really excel, and then I have other students that don't want to do anything, and I really have to push them and be on their side at all times or else they won't do anything. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about that, and also differentiating instruction, because I believe that's a huge part of teaching today because not all learners learn the same. So that's very important. I also want to learn to address these issues in my own classroom right now. And I also want to learn more about student motivation because I know that's a huge part of getting students to do their work and to excel in their studies as well. The next challenge that I wanted to learn a little bit more about was time. So I know in the article it stated that the teachers have a lot more time that they have to put into teaching, whereas when they were teachers in a brick and mortar setting, they didn't have to put in as much time as they do now, being an online teacher. So I was just wondering where that extra time was coming from, because I noticed that the article stated that the curriculum is already in place for the teachers. So I was just wondering if it's designing the activities online that takes that extra time, or if it's commenting on the students, talking to the students online, or if it's communicating with the parents and the families that takes that extra time. So I was interested in learning more about that as well. My hopes for online teaching: even though I don't teach online, I hope to learn teaching strategies that I can adapt and apply in my own classroom now. I also hope to add more online components to my activities in the classroom. I currently teach at a school and I have 15 iPads at my disposal at all times in my classroom, which is awesome especially because I only have 17 students. So it's great that I have those 15 iPads where I can add more technology into my classroom now. Whereas last year I only had 5 iPads for 25 students, so that was much harder figuring out how to incorporate technology, whereas this year I feel like I can whip out the iPads in a second and have the students on and engaged with technology that way right away. My qualities to share with my students: I definitely am very enthusiastic. I love learning as well, so I like to incorporate my enthusiasm and get my students really excited about learning too. So I feel like I can share those qualities with my students, and I currently do. And I also have a really good work ethic. I strive on doing my best and getting things done, so I definitely communicate this to my students as well now. So after watching the commercials, I decided to break the commercials up into individual parts. The K-12 individualized learning, I definitely noticed that the commercial definitely emphasized it being individualized and differentiated, which I thought that fit along with the standard F, where it states the online teacher is cognizant of the diversity of student academic needs and incorporates accommodations into the online environment. So I definitely took out the individualized and differentiated part out of that standard. The commercial also really emphasized it being student-focused, whereas instead of talking about the teacher, it really talked about the student and what the student gets out of the program. And last but not least, the cooperation with parents, which I thought went along with Standard J, which Standard J states that the online teacher interacts in a professional, effective manner with colleagues, parents, and other members of the community to support student success. And this commercial really emphasized the communication with parents and building that individualized, differentiated program for their student with the parent, which was really nice that the parents get that much say in their child's education. I know now in a brick and mortar school, I get to communicate with the parents as much as possible, but I don't feel that like the parents get to design the curriculum like this commercial was talking about. For the Connections Academy commercial, I noticed that it really talked about developing the whole child and the socialization through clubs, and that it was very student-focused again. I wasn't really able to connect any of this to any specific standard specifically, but again, I thought that was very important that it talked about the whole child and that socialization aspect as well. But it didn't really state how the teacher was involved with doing this and creating this, and also how the students were collaborating within the online classes. It just really focused on the club aspect. The last commercial was the Carpe Diem commercial, and I took away that school was promoting that you can learn the way you like, it's customizable, and you have the option of doing it all online, or you have the option of going to a building. And again, I didn't really pick out any specific standards from this commercial. I just think it was such a short commercial, and it mainly talked about these 3 bulleted points. So I noticed that all of the commercials together really emphasize flexibility on your own schedule and a student-focused curriculum, which are great things, but it didn't really talk about how and what the curriculum looked like and how the teacher fit into all of this, which worried me a little bit. Some of the qualities that did not fit with the standards, I said that the commercials did not address the teacher and the range of technology used, which was standards A and B. I also said that the commercials mainly focused on the student. They didn't really assess the teacher or how the teacher would do any of this, which would worry me if I was a parent. from the commercial aspect. And also the commercials do not explain how the students can interact and collaborate with each other, which was standard C, and I feel like that's so important for online learning, that the students are interacting and collaborating not with just the teacher, but with each other as well. And then the last bulleted point here is that the commercials never mention any sort of assessments, which went along with standard G. It said all these great things about how it was customizable, how it was differentiated, and how it fit the students' personal needs, but it didn't really state how they would do that, which left me wondering. Thank you so much for watching.